In a related question, Tomahawks have been in the news being transferred to Ukraine, vertical launch systems, and where we launch them from, and all that matters. I just want to get your thoughts on that narrative that's going around right now.
Yeah, I mean, so on a strategic part, our leadership in DC had a complete misunderstanding of Russians. You've heard me probably even when we were at Paycom, I was bitching about this back in those days too. Complete misunderstanding of Russian mentality. When they were threatening escalation, that's not what really was going on. We should have called their bluff in 2022, 2023, and basically made the cost of their prolonged war insurmountable for them. And instead, we were always chasing them. We were allowing the Russians to set the tempo and dictate where on the escalation ladder things were. And we fell right into their preferred method of warfare, attrition. It's also one that the math works for them better than anyone else, and they knew it. So why not? So we were kind of stupid. It's the technical term. We were stupid and didn't understand what we were dealing with as a country with the Russians. So the Tomahawks, now fast forward to today, I think there's a strategy. I think it's much more based on what motivates the Russians. I think it's also much more informed by the necessity to end the war. There's a lot of reasons why we need to end this war beyond Russia and Ukraine. And so a weapon system like a Tomahawk, and I'm very familiar with it um, because they do launch them from submarines.
Yep.
There is a way to actually manage it in an operational and in a technical way. Uh, but having those systems, a weapon like that in theater that the Ukrainians are operating and targeting, that's the interesting piece. Uh, that will cause Putin a lot of consternation because so far he has protected the wealthier, the middle class, upper part, the white Russian population. Again, you gotta kind of understand. I don't want to go through like the whole history of what's going on in Russia today, but it it stabs right at the center of gravity of Putin right now. And you're seeing some of this play out with Ukrainians' targeting of Russian oil refineries. Oil refining, refined products, not really what the Russians are selling and making their money. They sell crude and LNG. The refined fuel is what their military and their citizens use to live their daily lives or to fight day to day. So when the Ukrainians are taking out the refineries, they're hurting the Russian populace and they're having an impact on military operations. And you can see this angst. The war is coming home for the Russian people in a way that it hadn't and hasn't really. It's not to say that bombs landing in Belgorod, which is like 20 miles away from the border, isn't registering with the Russian people, but not it's not significant enough to move the needle in a Russian sensibilities. So we can't mirror Americans into Russia. We're very different.
So the Tomahawk was one of my favorite weapons to plan for at the operational level of war when I was working at an Air and Space Operations Center. So Navy guy at an Air and Space Operations Center, going through CMSA, coming here to
Mm,
Norfolk to learn all that stuff, and to really integrate that into a scheme of maneuver that is just absolutely insane. And I'm not going to go into a lot of details here, but as a planner, and I think you know this, that weapon brings so much to the table. And our surface warfare officers and our submarine community, when they're launching them, big show, big excitement for them. Just so people know that planning actually happens somewhere else. It's kind of cool how it works. I'm not going to say I'm for or against giving it to the Ukrainians, but it gives a great potential for them to do some good work there.
we'll say it's important. There are various varieties of that weapon.
Yep.
And since it's digital, you can make changes to the programming of it, which is the targeting,
Yep.
such that you don't need that other place being an American other place. So Putin's full of crap when he's
Yeah.
talking about only Americans can target it. So